watch list? Does it make sense?
You have your bag or the bag, you like everything I put in there?
So kind of talk about last time we said if we're able to go above 70.25, and we said that it was not the best spot to go long. And then one of the members asked us, why? Because we were framing up. Does everybody recall that? You guys remember that conversation?
Sorry,
So-
Shorty, I'm away. It's like I'm brand new. If anybody can hear you. I hear you.
So the idea was that ideally we said that we need the price to be accepted, then we need it to go back, and then we target this. And it was here as well, the next point. And then the second piece to that, it says that you do not want to be a market buyer. You do not want to be initiating price action here to go long, right? And I said that's not like the type of trader I am, that I'm looking for access here. So does that ring a bell to everyone? Looks like Beachy remembers, but let's see. Maybe you guys have a short-term memory. So let's see.
Yeah, I remember.
So when you look at the daily now, right, when we look at that profile that's about to come up. Why is it so slow? The profile initially here looks kind of weird because it has access on the bottom, but this is really not access on the bottom. You guys know that, right? Increase this to 6 just because of the volatility. Do you guys remember what I said? That ideally what we want to see on this day was that we go above, and then I drew the lines like this, that we get a little bit of access and we get liquidated. So now we did get that, right? And you got that, but then look what happened on the bottom here. You guys see what happened on the bottom that day?
Stop
Poor
loss
low.
hunt or something?
Got a poor
Is
low at
this-
the bottom.
I have a poor low here. You're not supposed to look at end period, if you guys remember, right? We're gonna break these down. So here's this day, right? So you have the AB period really tight, then C period, D period starting. They couldn't get back above. They struggled, right? But then look at the K and J periods, right? They created basically a poor low, and then this morning I wrote, hey, this is a pretty nice, or last night, I'm sorry, after the game, my soccer game, I wrote that we got the access and we got a poor low, and that would qualify for look above and fail. And look where the access came in. They started selling literally on a retest of the 25, and then today is a different story, right? They came in, they came here and they attempted to go of that, I would say, Tuesday's high, and they failed. And for me, that was a pretty good short, right? And I didn't catch a short here. I was more around here when I caught it, and I drove it a little bit more. And then I had some runners, ran it all the way down, and I closed it. I was targeting right around here to actually be 23 to 17. For some reason, I had 17 mark, but it's actually 19 off of the single prints. This was the zone that I was kind of targeting to close it out and not be involved in a trade on the short side. And then you simply, watched for what do we do around 908 area, and you see us go below and then get back up. And then once you reclaimed, I would say, the C period high, you probably could have taken a long, and they had a really nice run. And the M period, right? I would say this is, when you think about value and runaway, there's two things that Peter Settlemyer talked about. One is, he paid attention to spike being a late run from the value. And I would say if this is majority of our values here, this M is trying to go away from the value, and you see they encroached in the single prints in a period. So simply for tomorrow, what level is the key level for you guys?
So is that a spike you're saying, Shorty?
You would treat it as a spike, but I don't mark this as a spike base, but I'm telling you that Peter Settlemyer called this a spike, like the founder of it, right? So people would say that this was a spike right here. And you can definitely keep this level because that's where M period, ran away from value. But this level here, does anyone remember this level here? Us talking about it last week, the prior week value area high?
Yes.
Let's just bring it up so you guys can see the single prints. We'll just put this. So here's your value area high that we marked. And we said, I'll just rewind kind of so that way you guys follow what's going on. That this was a distribution here, and then we had a nice set of single prints here, and then we had elongated profile on the bottom, which was, a little bit more volatility than typical. And what we needed to see, and believe it was somebody said, well, then 908 would be fairly important. I said yes. If you're able to go below here, you want to watch for the trap to see if they do something like this, and you would eventually go long as you reclaim these single prints. Does that ring a bell? You wanted to see if they were going to get acceptance trading here. Well, the M period came, right, and they bounced inside, and you'll see now. Here's the today's price action. So you opened up here, you auctioned all the way down, and look where they closed. Right at 90, and then you have some interesting stuff happening here just because you have a really nice LVN here for a couple of days. So they really would want to go somewhere around here if you want them to get above here. Then ultimately you're going back to all-time highs. But for right now, I wouldn't really worry about this at the moment, and see if we're able to hold this prior week value area high, because that was a critical level. If you think about this, even if you extend this guy, let's just extend him here. You see how much value, how much time they spent here. And if they get rejected here, let's say tomorrow we open above it and we lose this level, well, we were really close to executing the 80%, right? From here all the way to down here. I was thinking that they were going to go to the 68.80 today, and they came a little bit shy, and then they bounced. So now, where are we going to open them? Actually, let me see where are we. So they dipped back below it. And does anyone remember what the 69.51 was?
It was a breakout level and a low volume node there.
So November value area
all-time
high.
high.
Do you guys remember the POC at 69.50 level? It was like a cumulative POC. This one?
Yeah, that 3-week.
Yeah, I mean, it's more. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-week POC. And you basically bounce to a penny here. You're holding that level. And we talked about this level quite a bit. Like, this is a fairly important level, right? And I would say it's probably December POC if you were to turn that on. Where is it?
I have December at 68.48.
Yeah, that's about right. 68.50. So I guess it was the last week's, whatever it was. We had 4 weeks POC, or 6 weeks. I apologize. This right here would be your 69.50, and it held it pretty well. And you see that there we were back in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks bracket. And now, what you can do is you look at this. Oh, turn to white now. You can look at this as the first sig, right? And then you can look at the bottom one also as first sig, and look kind of where we are. We're back inside that bracket now. Like, we're trading inside here. So you peaked above, you failed, you went below, you reclaimed, and it seems like we're right at that 50. This is not the spot to initiate a trade right here. This is not the ideal spot to be kind of messing around with this. This is where you can trim positions and kind of start closing down. But as long as we're below the 69, 69.25, I guess, prior week value area high, bulls are losing control a little bit. Because that would mean that we are doing what with this value here?
Rejecting the upper value.
Rejecting it.
Rejecting it. So most likely, then you're going to get inside and you're looking for the price to explore the value all the way to the bottom here, about 68, 80, 70. And that's kind of what we're going to pay attention to tomorrow. So now on regular, and you look at the dailies, is there anything on dailies that you guys should pay attention to?
Those single prints prior day.
You guys should be looking at the charts and understanding kind of what's going on as soon as you're, I would say, done trading. Because if I tell you everything what's going on, then you're just picking up what I'm telling you and you're not really testing yourself. Let's see what. I don't know why trading is so slow today. So we know you have what here?
Access at the top.
Access.
Really good access, right? If you don't consider this M period right here, you're looking at access where? All the way up to here, right? Which would be 69.74. And I would personally treat it here, which would be critical zone for you. And this is not necessarily where you immediately want to go along, let it go up, reclaim, and then give you some higher highs, maybe in 5 minutes. If you're looking for a long opportunity, you want to hold above here, about this 69.74. And then when you scroll down a little bit, so you have math. Okay, now I have this profile too. Let's see. Give you this way. So you have the access. Is there anything else that you guys would point out here? Which period we got bought back in?
D period.
D period. Did anyone? I mean, have you guys checked recent flows? I don't know if Tom is on. But he could check to see, how much money. What is Europe doing with money now? Where do you guys think they're investing?
Metals?
Well, it definitely could be the metals, right? But they're going to be investing in U.S. equities because I don't know if I would trust much what's happening in Europe right now and the chaos that they're in. So they're the one investing, and the D period is Europe period. Seems like Europe was really interested in buying this back up. The D period came in, and, 11 to 11:30, and they kind of got it back in. So now, for me, really, when you look at this profile here, if you're able to open above this POC, ideally above here, that's excellent, right? There's a high chance then you're most likely going to look to go all the way probably to this level here, about 706. This VPOC here that was here once before today. This area would be fairly big, and then you have this high volume node sitting at 713. So that's doable, right? But everything resides on this zone here tomorrow. They can open above it or not. And then on the bottom, even though it's not a failed auction, it's not really access, right? They came inside the value of this day here, and then they bounced back up. Is there anything here that you guys would kind of take a look at and see what's going on? Is there anything on this day that you guys should be aware of?
Poor low that needs to be
Or
fixed.
high
Hello?
or low.
Or low?
Yep.
Is that a spike down?
Like, yeah.
It's a tiny spike. It's not a lot, but you have to be aware that they tried to lower their price here, and then ultimately what happened the following day is, right? So you have Tuesday, and they have a little bit of a gap, then the 2-day value, shift up, go into the penthouse, make all-time highs, get access, today get liquidated. Come here and you're rejecting this, right? So dependent where we open, and it looked like we're trading right around this POC. If we open but then side here, I wouldn't be surprised that we go back to the bottom somewhere in auction, right? Because now you're back inside the value, kind of trading here, and this LVN and private value area high are going to be the resistance. As long as you're below this level, we're looking to go here, and then ultimately we want to fix this poor low here, or you guys called it poor low, but I would say spike. So then you're looking at this value here, and if that's the case, you could simply just take this. I just don't get why it's so slow. And then you'd be looking to see where's that value area low of this area. And you see it's right here where we had it marked. So that's what we're kind of looking right now. We shouldn't be finding a lot of bounces in this area, right? You're able to kind of lose this right now. Right here, if you get lost, in terms of price action, we go below it. Ultimately, I'm targeting somewhere on the bottom here, 68.20 or so. I think it's highly doable that we see this happen. And remember, we talked about limit down if they announce the rate. Obviously, they didn't increase the rate, which was not probable, but if they did, they would have spooked the markets. We probably would have dumped more. But I don't think if we lose this level that we're done. I think 68.20. And then ultimately, I would think that we're going to go back somewhere around here, November value area low, which is about 6,700. This would be the ultimate target if we lose this area. But this will be big. This is where they had a lot of volume. They traded. They spent a lot of time, a lot of volume. So you're going to have, people coming in here and happy to trade in here. So this is not a spot to necessarily add to your shorts, because you can have buyers step in because they're pretty happy here before. So for tomorrow, for me, everything's about this level here. This zone is most critical. They're still here. So if they reclaim this tonight, maybe you can go long and target this 7.6, 7.10 area. If they come here, lose it again, you potentially go overnight short. So that's something I would watch for. If they attempt here and you see they're struggling, take a short and see if you can target something like this. Reclaim this and you look for a long right here. Does that make sense? Guys would like, I can trade live tomorrow. Hopefully it's a little bit better Friday than we've had before. I would say the previous Fridays have been pretty shitty in terms of price action. But I think tomorrow we might have some volatility. I think Bitcoin is ready to go to actually dump, and it might just spook people out. Oh, yeah, Bitcoin just dumped. So Bitcoin is headed to our level right here. So if you guys are long on SBIT, did anyone get back in SBIT?
No, I let it charge.
So we should be seeing SBIT go towards these levels that we're targeting. So I got back in, should be going towards 72s or so. Yeah, I agree, Beachy. I think it should be fun tomorrow. Tomorrow is there's a lot of unwinding that's going to happen on Bitcoin. Dollar is, I guess, trying to hold its own now here. That's a really nasty candle on gold. Very good. Not a good looking candle on gold if you guys are long. I would watch for this low here. What happens? Looks like an abandoned baby sort of setup right here. If they lose this, it can get really, really nasty. I mean, all of them are getting all the metals are getting a little, almost like a rug pull coming all around. Did anyone check? We talked about this stock, SanDisk. Guys, see what happened after hours?
Insane.
Dude, I mean, it's just this is bananas. It went $70 after hours. So here's this one. I mean, it appreciated 2,000% here this year. STX is still going as well. That one's going, and then MU had another gap. 4 something. 451. It just keeps going. Intel CFO, did you guys see the filing? So Intel CEO bought some shares, right? That's typically a good sign. So he got them around $42, so they're buying this back up. So ultimately, next target is 68. So I'm not selling any positions here, like any put calls or puts here. I want to see if they can get to 68, and that would be the spot that I'm willing to sell again. Once we get here, that would be really, really good profits for a lot of us. So you can manage your whole position there or trim the investment, but that would be almost 300%. Ultimately, you guys know that I'm looking for about 120, like right around here. We'll be closing a lot of it. And that would be really, really good returns. Like you're talking about 600%. Right. I will schedule the class for this weekend. We're going to cover volume profile. We're going to finish volume profile, like start that section and finish the market profile. What we started, 3 weeks back or 4. We're going to kind of start off from the middle of market profile and then finish it and add portions of volume profile, and we can start and add it next week and week after that. Okay. All right, guys. Well, have a good night. I'll trade live with you guys tomorrow and go from there. Jump on and share my screen as well and see how Friday comes along.
Thank you, Shorty.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you,
next
Shorty.
week.